Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to today's Heriot-Watt Special Postgrad Insights webinar. Today is a live session. If you have any questions at all, concerns or issues, please email webinars@postgradsolutions.com. Alternatively, you can find out a little bit more by emailing study-with-us@heriot-watt.hw.ac.uk. Manuel Cresciani is going to be talking about the architecture course, in particular the new architecture course, which is coming up in September. If you have any questions, anything you want to talk about, put it in the chat facility or put it in the Q&A. I'll be back for the Q&A at the end. Manuel, over to you.
Thank you very much, Gareth. Hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm really excited to expose the program, the new program we have both in Edinburgh and in Dubai. I will be talking about the Master of Architecture in Edinburgh in particular, but I will touch points that apply to Dubai as well. The intention is to give you an overview of the university as a whole and then go specifically to the master. Before that, a quick introduction. My name is Manuel. I am a qualified and chartered architect in the UK, and also a qualified architect, registered architect in Italy. I'm Italian from Rome. I've been teaching architecture for more than 20 years in different UK and European institutions. And I am the director of the Master of Architecture here in Edinburgh. So let's start with no further delay. Heriot-Watt is a university in the UK based in Edinburgh, but there are other campi in Dubai and Malaysia as well. There are other campi in Scotland too, in Galashiels at the border and in Orkney. One thing that I want to really stress here is that it's not uncommon that a UK university or European university have other satellite campi in other country. But Heriot-Watt is different because we don't consider the campi outside Edinburgh, where it was founded, as satellite. They are actually part of the university. The program are exactly the same. The certificate don't specify if you have studied in Malaysia or Dubai or Edinburgh, Orkney, and so on. It's just one university with different location, and these have a lot of advantages. It's a global institution, and I will talk about the Go Global protocol that we have across our different campuses. I will go a little bit quickly here, but just to let you know the kind of global location on different level that we have. Of course, there are in purple there are the three campi in the continents, three campi in Scotland as well, and all the other dots that you see are several. There will be offices, academic partners, collaboration, research, and so on. So we are spread all over the world. A few thematic slides. Heriot-Watt has been revolutionizing education from 1821, so it's quite an old institution in Scotland. It also the first world first mechanics institute here in Edinburgh. There were no other kind of mechanical engineering institution in the world like recognized as a university. And we are very proud, one of our founders, Mary Barton, became the first woman on the board of directors. This is something that we really take pride of, the inclusion, the diversity, the equity that we embrace as our value at Heriot-Watt. Rankings. So in the 2024 survey, this is great. This is one of the really news that are really worthy to be spread. We are first in Scotland and second in the UK for undergraduate employability. When we mean employability, we mean finding job in the kind of field that you have studied. It's not like working in supermarket or something else. We are recently, so the Complete University Guide 2026 has went out a few weeks ago, maybe less, 10 days ago, and we are 25th in the Complete University Guide 2026 for UK. This is an enormous achievement. We are, if you are familiar with the ranking in the UK or in the kind of category, usually the first like 40 places are dominated by Russell Group University, so older university. We are doing better than some of the oldest university in the country. To be 25th is about 1/5, 1/6 of top university in the UK, which is a great result. And the National Student Survey, which is an institution that measures the satisfaction of students, as an overall score of 75.4 at university level. So again, it's really great number. In figures, Heriot-Watt, I would say I have been working several institution, higher education institution, and Heriot-Watt is a compact university in terms of student number. There are about 26,000 students from 172 countries. The 65% of them are taught on campus, and 35% are taught off campus or online. There are about 2,800 staff personnel, academic, professional support, and so on. 42 academic and 58 professional services. Location is 82% in Scotland, 10% in Dubai, and 9% in Malaysia. In particular, the Edinburgh campus, I'm talking mostly about the Edinburgh campus, is one of the largest campus in the UK. It's an estate, so we are surrounded by beautiful nature, and we are about 20 minutes away from the city center of Edinburgh. Awards. This is just a selection of the awards that we have been receiving. The business school won the Refugee Scholarship Initiative in recognition of an institution which demonstrate positive impact on society beyond traditional degree programs. This is particularly in the current time, unfortunately, to be sympathetic and empathic with people in great difficulties is something that we are really proud of. This is one of our staff, Professor Gabriela Medero. She pioneered a new kind of completely recycled brick, which is made of 90% of waste materials and perform really well. So you can imagine the lowering the carbon emission to actually manufacture this key brick, and it won the prestigious International Design Sustainability Award in 2022. Design is one of the largest archive for architecture and relevant fields in the world. And again, this was was conceived and manufactured here at Heriot-Watt. Again, I touch slightly on the access and inclusion. We are an inclusive university. We are an international university, and our commitment for equality, diversity, and inclusion is one of our values. There are a lot of initiatives. There are committees within schools. We've really paid a lot of attention to our multinational character. And research, of course, we like any, and that explains also the 25th place in the league, university league that I quoted before, because research is an important aspect of what we do here in Edinburgh. And students are the first kind of audience that receive the results of our research. Just to give you some thematic aspect of our research in terms of sustainability. So Orkney is one of our campi here in North Scotland. The main research focus on using science to enhance the resilience of coastal community, and is currently working with fishing villages in Indonesia and on sustainable seafood culture. This is really important. Energy transition again. Orkney is a series of it's an island on the North Sea. Is at the forefront of UK energy transition, and again, sustainable resources, sustainable energy is also part as a premises of the MR, the Master of Architecture here at Heriot-Watt. So I'm trying to, give you a sense of the fact that the MARC really capture a lot of research from other kind of discipline and use them as tools in our design brief. So sorry, I was a little bit fast, but I really want to concentrate in the Master of Architecture. So one thing, first and foremost, to be absolutely clear, to study in a city like Edinburgh, if you like architecture, I don't think there's any better in the world. Edinburgh is a UNESCO World Heritage Site for urban planning and architecture. So not apart from the culture, which is vast, the UNESCO award the World Heritage Site because of the urban planning and architecture. It's a multi-layered city spanning more than 1,000 years. It's very contemporary, it's very vibrant. The festival and the fringe in August attract millions of people across the world, but it's also a very old city, a medieval city. In numbers, we start in September, so a few months to go. The master is 2 years long, it's 240 credits, so it's not an MC, which is 1 year and 180 credits. It's 2 years long. This is common for all the MARC. It's a boutique cohort. We are not aiming to have a large cohort of students. So our target is 20-25 students per year. We anticipate that starting from next year, there will be maybe a little bit less of that. And then when we stabilize in the next few years, there will be about that. We don't want to go over that because we want to have a very personal relationship with our students. It's an intense course, the Master of Architecture. So to know the students know us. We are not numbers, you are not numbers. It's really important. And we are looking for accreditation here in Edinburgh from ARB and RIBA. ARB, we are planning the visit with ARB in the next few weeks. And RIBA will come at the first quarter. I will probably explain you a little bit more about the accreditation system in the UK at the end of the presentation. I'm sure there will be questions. Okay, so in terms of this architectural systems in the UK, there are two parts, or there were actually, but traditionally there are two parts. It's part one and part two. The part one is the bachelor. It's the 3 or 4 years, depending from in which nation you study. And I think it's fair to say that because it's a kind of common ground, there are not much differences between different programs across the UK. I mean, in terms of the content, the quality might be different, but the content in terms of the topic that you will study, because we have to cover the basics are spread in a uniform way across the whole country. The master, though, so the part two, is where actually you see difference. You see where the accent are put in the program. And so you will find differences in different MARC. What are the kind of territory of investigation? And I'll give you what is ours, what are ours. So 55% of the world population lives in urban areas at the moment. And this is going to be projected at about 70% in 25 years. This is a fact. So that means that for us, the urban landscape, the urban fabric is where we are going to place our focus. There might be element of rural design, but mostly will be city, and possibly Edinburgh will be, our play garden, if you like. In terms of the way we have structured the course, we wanted to capitalize on the huge strength that we have at Heriot-Watt as a university globally, in particularly in the school of where we sit, which is EGIS, Energy, Geotechnics, Infrastructure, and Society. So we mix the best courses that we have available at the moment, and new courses. Courses is modules, is topics. So the fusion of this is what the EMARC is about. And I will give you a clear example of what we are after. So before doing that, one thing that is really interesting is that we run an MC in urban design and planning, which is the reason why Edinburgh was awarded the UNESCO World Heritage Site, jointly with Edinburgh University. So this is a master which runs across the two universities and is jointly awarded. This is not the EMARC, but within this master there are two courses, urban design theory and urban design for health and well-being, that are also part of the EMARC. So we have captured these two courses from this parallel master, and they will be taught for our EMARC Master of Architecture students as well. And also we have a very, very popular other course, which is already available for our architectural engineering students and another cohort, which is sustainable and intelligent buildings. So these are the courses that we have taken as part of our master. And then, of course, because of the richness in research, and also because it's part of the accreditation criteria, there will be two other modules in year one, research methods, and year two, research investigation. So this is the taught courses that are part of the modules. All the rest is possibly is the counterpart, is what architects do, is about design. So there will be two design projects in year one, design project 1 and design project 2. And I think it's fair to say it's a one design thesis. We have like logistically split it in two parts for logistic reasons, but essentially is the final project, is the final thesis in year 2, which will be a design project. And I think well, if you go to the Heriot-Watt website, you will see exactly where you will be studying the courses. So, for example, in year one, there will be urban design for health and well-being, design project 1, and urban design theory. And in semester 2 of year 1, there will be sustainable and intelligent buildings, design project 2, and research methods. And the same, slightly different, apply to the year 2, where again the majority of the credits, about 90 credits, will be design thesis 1 and design thesis 2. Okay. What we are really keen to do, because remember that before university were hosting architecture, which is a recently kind of newish institution. So about 200 years in Europe that we started having architectural faculty, architectural school, and so on. But before that, and architecture is an old profession. The way to learn architecture was to go and visit country and learn from the building themselves. The Grand Tour, which was again an establishment in the in the Enlightenment time, was exactly like that. People were traveling across the world and looking and sketching and learning from the buildings. And we want to replicate this. So we will be organizing, taking advantage of that we are in Europe, study trip in Berlin, for example, in Venice, in Paris. I have been organizing really dozens of these all of them, for example, Berlin, Venice, Paris, Barcelona, Rome, Amsterdam. I have organized multiple times in other institutions. So I declare myself to be an expert in study trip. And we will conduct a study trip abroad. The university, we will support the organization, the logistics of the trip, and the itinerary, the visits, and so on. So there will be a support, logistic support from the school. Um, Again, one thing that is really, really crucial and really it's important is that although the program of architecture is new at Heriot-Watt Edinburgh, the people and the staff that are attached to the course are not new to architecture at all. Again, I have been teaching more than 23 years architecture in different schools. My last school was Loughborough, where together with colleagues, we put together a program from scratch, and now it sits on the top 5 program in the UK. So the fact that that a program is new is actually an advantage, not a disadvantage, because we can respond to the needs and wishes of industry now. Older program find difficult to change. We are starting now, so we are really, really agile, and our radar are pointed at what is happening now in terms of the architectural debate. So there is a lot of experience. Harry Smith is a full professor, is the director of the master that we run jointly with Edinburgh University. He's an esteemed professional, recognized, worldwide recognized. And Alex is our director of teaching, and she's also an architect. She also worked for Edinburgh University in the past. And there will be other colleagues. So fear not, you are coming into a new program, a very agile program, taught by really expert architects and lecturer. The other thing that is really, really unique, I would say, is that because Dubai, our campus in Dubai will start also in 2025, so a few months, we are working on the Go Global protocol. So the Go Global is a system for which in every campus our students are, in any campus our students are, let's say Dubai or Malaysia, if there is a program that run in other campus, let's say Edinburgh or Orkney, students can travel to the new campus and study there and then return in the campus. So what we are planning to do is that in year 1, semester 2, right, so January 2026, students from Edinburgh might have the opportunity to go and do the semester in Dubai, while students from Dubai, at the same time, will come over here and do a semester with us in Edinburgh. Now, to have two cities so diverse, but so vibrant, like Edinburgh and Dubai, I apologize, I misspell Edinburgh, I cancel the H. Anyway, so the fact that we can play, we can contextualize our brief in a very old, multi-layered, old continent city like Edinburgh, or in a very vibrant, contemporary, futuristic city like Dubai, is a unique experience for our students, because you know, wherever you are based, you will be working on a global stage. I have former students that are working all over Canada, Japan, Africa, you name it. This is the nature of a contemporary architectural profession. So to be exposed, it's not like a field trip like many universities do. It's not like 3 days somewhere. You are spending a semester, you are living a semester. And maybe the way of teaching will be slightly different between Edinburgh and Dubai. The context is different, the culture is different, but we offer you this opportunity. So the Go Global is a reality for most of the courses at Heriot-Watt. We are working in make it real for you guys should you decide to join us in September. This is important. We are seeking accreditation by the AIRB, Architect Registration Board. This is not just one of the 2 accreditation bodies, together with RIBA, the Royal Institute of British Architects. The Architect Registration Board is the regulator. So it manages the architect register here in the UK. Now, 2 things that are really, really important about the AIRB. The AIRB recently changed the admission process, meaning that before, to get to the part 2, you would have need to have the part 1, right? Now AIRB has canceled the part 1, so applicants that maybe don't have a a former or a formal educational degree in architecture, but they have some experience, can still apply, provided they produce a good portfolio. There will be an interview, but if the parameters are matched and you don't have a degree, a previous degree in architecture, but maybe you have it in interior architecture or architectural technology, or you know, a relevant field, you might be eligible to study the MArch. Not only with us, but definitely with us. So that's the first thing. The second thing is that the ARB qualification, which is only available in Edinburgh, because the ARB depends from the UK government, so it cannot accredit other campi. So, but if you come to Edinburgh and you finish the MArch, you will be eligible to enter in the register of the ARB, which is the Architect Registration Board. And there are mutual recognition with other national boards across the world. So the United States of America, Australia, New Zealand, Canada, and there are possibilities, like it was before Brexit, that the ARB would recognize and will be recognized by other boards in Europe. That is not the case at the moment, but there are exchanges in this respect, meaning that if you are an ARB architect, you can go now to the United States of America, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand and be recognized as a professional architect. That is a great advantage. So we have been in contact like for the last 2 years with ARB RIBA. We are working with them. We will have the accreditation in the due course, and they will be retroactive. So it will be applied to all the cohort that will be accredited at that time. If there are questions, I will be more specific during the question time. Excuse me. Of course, Edinburgh and Scotland has produced historically top quality architecture and top quality architects. We have been working with them. We want to have our advisory. We have our advisory board full of architects. So we did run the Go Global at the UG level, so Part 1 level, last January. And we went to work. We have a collaborative project with Bennett's Associates. This is a multi-award, Scottish-based but international firm, and they came over here. They did workshop, they did seminar, they did review, and this is just one example. And if you go to our website, you will read an endorsement. This is here from Bennett's Associates, which we are really grateful, but also proud to have on board. Finally, I think in terms of careers, of course, the mainstream of graduates with a Master of Architecture will be architecture. Architecture is so to speak, is a broad church. So you might end up in residential architectural practices or commercial or both. You can be working on a kind of compact architecture or a very large one. But also, with a master, you will be well equipped to go and practice as an interior architect or interior designer, as a game architect. This is something that the trend is expanding a lot. Particularly because of the urban planning attention of our course, planners is an alternative for you as a professional career. So I think that is about it. But this kind of webinar don't work very well if there's no much interaction. So that's my email. Of course, you can send me an email anytime, and I'm very happy to have a kind of a chat with you, a video chat. But if there are questions at the moment, I cannot see the chat, Gareth. So maybe I will.
Let me answer that, because I've had a few questions come through on social media as well, which you're not going to be privy to. So, firstly, thank you for presenting on that. This is the second time I've heard that, and it sounds so exciting, especially on our doorstep as well. So if you are from the UK, it's a wonderful opportunity that I would seek out. Now, Manuel, one of the questions that's come in, and I know a lot of the programs and courses are very much about coming to Edinburgh, getting a feel of the city, understanding the university, getting used to the culture. But one of the questions is around online learning and distance learning. Is that an opportunity long term? Are you looking at that perhaps as a future option? And is it feasible given how hands-on you need to be?
Okay, well, traditionally, I would have said the discipline of architecture needs to be one-to-one, face-to-face, pencil in hand, and exchange, in this kind of almost physical environment. Of course, well, during the pandemic, we put together a lot of software and technology that help us to do this on a virtual basis, so over distance. At the moment, we are not planning to have an online MArch. However, we do plan to have virtual, so online thought workshop or lecture and so on. So, for example, for the research methods and research investigation, I'm really keen to not just have lecture in the class, but having guest lecture from all over the world. If we are interested in the topic and we identify a scholar in Canada, we can invite these people and having them present their findings, their work, their ideas to our students. So this is definitely a possibility. To run the design brief virtually is more complicated. So at the moment, I would say it's not on the
Yeah.
table. Going forward, let's see.
Absolutely. We saw from your presentation just how great it must be to live and study in Edinburgh. What sets apart this architecture master's degree from others in the UK? Because there are many architecture courses and
Yes.
programs across the UK. It's becoming more and more a popular topic. Um, what sets Heriot-Watt apart from others?
I believe there will be at least three things, and don't don't take me for granted. Make your checks. But I have been teaching in Leeds University, Newcastle, Northumbria University, Newcastle, Loughborough University, and now Heriot-Watt. So I have a good feeling of and of course I have plenty of colleagues and I visited a lot of different schools. What set Heriot-Watt apart are three things. One, we are new. I mean, to change a comma in the description of a program at the academic level is very difficult. There are committees you have to go through and so on. So programs that have been running in a certain way for decades are probably now a little bit out of track, I would say, but we are starting now. So we are definitely forming students that are well equipped, well-rounded designers that are needed now, not 20 years ago or 50 years ago when the program was born in other university. The second thing is that both in Edinburgh and we are finalizing our top-notch full technological studio here in Edinburgh. So it's new also in terms of technological capabilities of we will have 3D printer, everything in the studio. Uh, so technological advance, and there is the exchange with Dubai. I mean, this
Yeah.
the dialogue between Edinburgh and Dubai is unique. I don't, again, don't confuse this opportunity with the possibility of having a field trip somewhere. We will do field trip, of course, but it's a different thing. Um, and the third is the attention to urban discourse and sustainability. These are really the key element. The challenge that we are facing are about the climate change and urban design. These are the two major, and we are actually building our program around these two key issues. So I think this is something that, so in the UK in particularly, there are kind of technical school or more fine arts school. We are definitely on the technical school. We are definitely on, understanding the technology, understanding what we can do now to make the built environment much better. And because we are responsible for a lot of damage we are to the planet. So we have to react ourselves first.
Yeah, point three was going to be my next question actually about sustainability. I think that's such a key topic, and very prevalent as well. Talk to me about the post-graduation opportunities, because one of the things that impresses me so much at Heriot-Watt University, never mind just a course program department, is the hand-holding that goes on post-graduation to help them find a career within architecture.
Yes.
I mean, it's such a broad topic now.
Yes.
Talk to me more about that, because there must be so many students that you probably have the satisfaction, perhaps in April, May, June, July, in 2 years' time, of going, right, that was down to us, that was down to us, and we're helping you find that job.
Yes. Well, because it's a broad program, in general, architecture is a broad program. And also, in particular, Heriot-Watt, we will expose you to a lot of different kind of topics. I think, in my experience, ultimately, is the choice of the students where they want to go. Because, of course, the design projects are crucial, but the take they have in the design free, which in particular in the second year is almost led by students. We are here to support an idea of students. They choose the territory, the topic, everything. So that really form their interest. When they go for interview, what they show is the thesis, and the thesis will really identify their specialities, their qualities, their interests, and so on. So it very much depends from the student's approach to architecture. Within this program, the MARC at Heriot-Watt, I think that, as I said, uh, all the consultancies that work on the urban planning, at large scale intervention, I mean, our student will be really well equipped. All the there are a lot of practice now that are really having energy. So in the last century, the structural engineering was the kind of the sister discipline for architecture. I think in the current time is more mechanical engineering. It's more about energy. So we have the intelligent building module, for example. All our brief will be sustained by sustainable energy sources. So the premises of sustainability is embedded in our brief. So all practice that work around sustainability and energy and net zero will be attracted by our student, because that's
Yeah,
what we do.
absolutely.
So again, it is really much depend from the students, but in terms of climate, sustainability, master planning, understanding is when I talk about urban fabric, it's not just about buildings, it's about society, it's about context, it's about culture, it's about infrastructure. So these are the topics that we are facing now, and our students will be very well equipped.
Absolutely. And just one of the questions that's come in is around the application stage, around portfolios and
Yes.
when they actually apply for the program, of course. What kind of portfolio would you be looking for? Does it matter whether it's a comprehensive portfolio, or are you really looking at the student on an individual basis and going, they're good for this?
We are looking to, I mean, all the applicants will need to submit a portfolio. This is a quite kind of ubiquitous in all the School of Architecture, and particularly because now we can, I mean, applicants with no formal degree in architecture can still submit, can be eligible. We need to check, making sure that they are, there are skills enough for us to accept it. So I would say the portfolio would be maximum 20 pages PDF A3, to give you some specifics. It should really capture a series of skills and different projects. The kind of project you want to put in, it's up to you. But 3, 4 project is a normal, not more than 5, well curated. Maybe zooming, from the master planning to the technical details. So something that tell us once you are committed, to that you have been working on different on different scale. After that, there will be an interview probably with me, and it's not an examination, it's just a chat to make sure that you understand what we do and we understand your motivation to come over here. And after that, if everything is okay, you will receive an offer. Now, the one thing that I want to stress, don't just double check, but I'm pretty sure we now offer, I think, a 10% discount as a scholarship. So if you apply with us and you are successful, there will be a cut in the university fee of about 10%. I think this is on our website. So this is an incentive, something that, you know, in this current financial time, I think we thought that was a good thing to do for our students. So there's also these other options. It's not common to our competitors, I would say.
And can we talk about the value of English language when it comes to, because the programs are all taught in English, but there will be many people like that have been on the webinar today that have got my English is not up to scratch. I don't have TOEFL, I don't have IELTS. Um, Ultimately, you're in a creative game, so they'll think, well, it doesn't matter where I'm from, but because the language is English and it will help you so much in your future studies or whatever you go on to do in your employment,
Yes.
it's key, isn't it?
It is. You know, my Godfather accent is still very strong, but you know, I'm really grateful to be able to speak English. You know, it's still the langue franc. The common language across the world. There are institutions in Europe, in Holland, in Germany, in France that teach English courses. So just in English. So it's really important. It's part of our parameters to have some English language qualification. Having said that, though, architecture is a discipline where, you know, if I sketch something and I send it to somebody in South Korea, they will understand what I mean.
Exactly.
So it is important because it is important to, and we really are keen on verbal communication using the right technical terminology. That's really important. But there are other ways that we can communicate
Excellent.
and making model sketching. So, you know, as long as you have a valid English test, you will learn English. I can talk for myself. When I came here 23 years ago, my English was kind of rough. And I'm not saying I have a Shakespeare English now, but I improved just being here. And in 2 years' time, young people will really master the language, which again is another asset.
Okay, and a couple of final questions for me. Firstly, you've kind of touched upon it already, but what makes one of the three that you said makes Heriot-Watt architecture so unique is the opportunities to learn in terms of a one-on-one lecturer, perhaps at any point. It's more personal learning. What does that look like in terms of an average week for a student? Is it half on their own, half in classes? Is it a lot of time in lectures? How does that actually look?
So this is not just us, but it's us to have a wonderful studio for, welcoming our students. So students of architecture are expected to work in the studio. Let's say, I mean, I have experience. So I was the master director at Northumbria for 7 years, and our master students were in the studio every day, and they are working their own project and the other taught material topic in the studio. The studio will be solely, so the studio we are completing now will be dedicated to our architectural student. They will be there. They can be there. It's not compulsory, but they can be there from Monday to Friday, including the weekend, and working there. This is to mimic what actually happening in architectural practice. You go to your practice or studio, as we call it, and you work there. You don't have to work only on your design project. You can work on other topics as well. So I would say that the presence in the studio is something that we really encourage because students learn a lot one another, because it's a kind of osmosis in a sense of skills. Um, but there will be like 3 hours per week, I think, more
Yeah.
or less, uh, uh, in when they will go to lecture. So, for example, the two urban planning topic, they will be taught in some of our lecture theater, and they will be within the master of the joint degree. So that is a one time that when they have to left the studio, go to the lecture theater, which will be in our building, and then come back in the studio. I mean, I have experienced students that don't like to work in the studio. By the way, our studios we have been working really hard to make sure that the neurodiversity issues have been taken into account in the designing the color, the fabric, and so on. But if there are students that prefer to work from home, this is perfectly doable. In my experience, it's much better to work in the studio because one of us will be always around. They are just above me, like literally. So I will be around. If there is a question or
Yeah.
something, we are here. So yeah.
And just finally, Manuel, last question from me would be around the culture and type of student that you're anticipating to have in September. Obviously, it's a new program, new course, which has its pros. Um, but what type of student are you expecting? Are you expecting loads of international students to enroll on this program, therefore making it very culturally diverse?
There will be a lot of international students. That's for sure. But we are receiving application from UK, from Scotland, a few for Europe as well. So I'm looking forward to have a very diverse international kind of representation of the world here, and also because in terms of staff, Harry, well, Harry Smith, consider himself, I think, culturally Spanish because he was born well, he was born in Scotland, but he went to
Yeah.
study
Yes.
in Spain and he worked in Spain for many years. He has connection with Colombia, South America. I'm Italian. Alex is English. Sasha is Iranian. So there is a lot of, and this is great. This is great because, and of course, our counterpart in Dubai. So if the Go Global works, which will work, you will be exposed to a very large variety of architectural culture, which is what you need to have.
Fabulous. Manuel, thank you for your time. Really appreciate it. It's been a great session, great Q&A at the end as well. So thank you very much. Just a reminder, anyone that is interested in applying or enrolling on the program, like Manuel mentioned earlier, September start dates, it's not too late. It's not too late. I know it. Many of you might think, oh, it's not too far away. It's not, in truth, but there are still positions open. I believe there's opportunities to look at funding and scholarships and accommodation. Please have a look at the Heriot-Watt website. Please email studywithus@hw.ac.uk or reach out to Manuel directly. His email
Please.
address is there. I'm sure he'd be more than happy to accommodate any questions
I,
that you might have.
I have an appointment this afternoon with an applicant from California. So
There we go.
I'm very happy to have a quick chat, like a personal chat, a video call with whoever has question for me. By all.
Excellent. Manuel, thank you for your time. Appreciated. Take care.
Thank
All
you,
the
Gary.
best. Have a nice summer, and I'll see you towards the end of the year. Take care.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.